Sometimes I feel like an assassin. People call me. I load up my car with all my goodies and my little toolbox and things, and I go some strange state and I kill people. My first inspiration as far as doing makeup was Lon Chaney Sr., the silent screen star, makeup artist, stuntman, actor, you know. Whenever Chaney opened up his makeup box, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback, I started reading about what has been called the myth of Lon Chaney, that he would suffer so much for his art, you know, with harnesses that would strap him down for the Hunchback. And physically, he would, like, really be hanging from those gargoyles. It changed my life. And it was like after the Army, it became a career move, a thing to do for a living, you know, which I never thought was possible. I wanted him to be ugly, you know. In my mind, Jason had to look like a 38-year-old version of the kid, you know, from part one. But it involved doing a whole sculpture of a whole head and then breaking it down into individual appliances to be stuck on to the actor. And I had never done anything like that, but Dick Smith had. Dick Smith, by the way, is the master, the greatest makeup artist in the world. Finally won an Academy Award that he's deserved for 40 years, you know. Dick Smith, when he invents a technique, he'll write it down, then he'll type it up, then he'll mimeograph it, and send it off to us, you know, if we ask, you know. He shares, you know, the secrets. If it wasn't for him, the state of the art would not be where it is today. Weapons are easy. This is one of them. Looks like I hope it looks like I'm cutting my neck here. See? It's just cutting out the whole. You know, one approach would be, well, let's get a fake head, take a knife and cut its throat. Well, my idea is to use as much of the real actor in the effect as possible, because the real actor can, you know, make faces, make his eyes move. Fake head just sits there. Then we just pump blood that would come streaming over the weapon, which looked like it was coming out of the person. The reason these are varying lengths is because we start with the long one, cut away to something, cut back, and this one's in there. So in your mind, you know, we've gone in further. However, there are, you know, things I personally want to do, and that is do the creatures and the monsters and the fantasy things. In Day of the Dead, I had 6 guys working for me. 3 months before we started shooting, we did elaborate zombie. We just were making generic zombie appliances, small, medium, and large.
When you're putting it on, it's kind of like you have 20 people you have to do, okay, and you have so much time to do them. So it's like they stick the brush in the glue, and they go, and they put the appliance on. I mean, it's fast. At the end of the day, getting the glue off, it's like, you know, it's very, very painful. I even had one girl pass out on me when I was taking it off.
Perhaps I'm relying on the fact that the kids, quote unquote, know that this stuff, you know, isn't real. What do we have here? Here's a latex lower intestine here. There's chunks of flesh. Now, chunks of flesh was something that we would just whip together, and whenever we needed it, we would stick it in something so that when a piece of a person came off or a head was torn off, you know. Sitting with Stephen King is like sitting with a 13-year-old kid, and you're talking about monsters and, you know, and Twilight Zone and things like that. And he's a multimillionaire, but it's like dirty T-shirts, purple boots, you know.
You're just seeing your father, who's been dead for 7 years.
The story is about a farmer who sees a meteor land on his property and thinks that he can get money for it, and throws a bucket of cold water on the steaming meteor so that it breaks in two, and it has a kind of a super seed-like fluid inside. The stuff grows on everything, and Geordie touches it and begins to grow on him, and in his yard, and on his junked-out cars, and in his house, and all over him.
Okay, roll. Rolling.
Scene 517, take 1, camera roll 309.
Action.
Oh, my God. What a... Creepshow is a prime example of getting an assistant to do something that I don't want to do, would never do, can't do, afraid to do. It was the cockroaches. You know, we had 28,000 cockroaches in Creepshow. For the scene when the bugs crawl out of E.G. Marshall, there's these two guys underneath a set filling these large syringes with cockroaches.
Thanks to Tom, he built that bust, and it was a really good-looking bust, and we were able to literally force-feed the roaches through the thing.
The bugs are falling down on them, and they're being covered, and they're stuffing roaches back in there.
There's just no way, when you're working with insects like that, to carefully plan a series of shots that relies on the insects behaving in any given way. Them roaches just don't take direction.
There were two entomologists, actually, also there, who collected the bugs in Trinidad and brought them back and had a van where they would breed, you know, 8,000 more than they collected. It was called the Roach Motel. This was the fastest full-scale creature, you know, I've ever done or had to do. Plus, I directed the episode. I don't know, I just started sculpting a kid. I made her bow-legged because, you know, I was bow-legged when I was a kid, still am. I sculpted her in 2 weeks. I knew I wanted her to have long nails and have bony little fingers, you know, and a skull-like head with, you know, prominent bones, and these are albino eyes from a taxidermist supply place, and teeth. I wanted the teeth to be jagged so it looked like she could bite you and, you know, really nasty to you. I knew she had to be short to fit into the closet, and I wanted her to be, you know, ugly, but not supernatural. So every time you see Lizzie in that Tales from the Dark Side episode, inside the closet, there's always 6 guys somewhere. Like you see her on Fritz Weaver's leg, there's 6 guys down there, making her arms move. Someday computers are going to do all this stuff, if they don't do everything. You know, we talked about nightmares, and the nightmares that I have, my insecurity dreams, the nightmares I give, you know, that people come and tell me about. We talked of how I feel like I'm an assassin sometimes, you know. I load up my car, go places and kill people. Well, the people that I've killed in movies, and the little monsters and things I created, well, they're here. Some of those people that I've killed are up in my attic, you know. Their bodies, their foam, latex, and fiberglass bodies, and the creatures that I've done are all around me, you know. Now, what would happen if I'm lying in bed some night and all these people that I've killed off decide to come back and take their revenge? Are you wondering what might happen in that case? Well, I'll be ready for that.